We have our cart loaded up with all of our electrical stuff that we need, and we are ready to rebuild our fans control circuit. For this Cobra, we have a Holley Sniper that has 2 fan control outputs and 1 AC input, and then we have an aftermarket vintage air kit that has a trinary switch on the high side, on the high pressure side, and the trinary switch drives both the AC compressor and the condenser fan based off of AC pressures. For us, we find the fan on the condenser to be lackluster, and we want to make sure that we want to have the Holley Sniper bring on the radiator fans, maybe even on high speed, when the AC kick comes on. So what we're going to do is we've removed the fan control that was in the car, which was just really 1 fuse, 1 relay, and then the 1 relay was connected to power to both fans. And that's the whole simplistic circuit. It had only 1 wire going back to the Holley Sniper, so all it had for a function was just 1 temperature where both fans would come on high speed and then they turn off. And this would create little shocks in the electrical system as the fans turned on and off because of the extreme load of 2 fans trying to power up together. What we're going to do is we're going to use 3 relays and 2 fuses to drive these 2 fans in such a way that we get to use both of the fan outputs from the Holley Sniper controller, and we get to have low and high speed operation of the fans. And then we're going to wire the AC compressor to the input on the Holley Sniper so that we have the fans come on when the AC comes on. That is a whole tricky thing all in and of itself. For Holley Sniper, you have to have ground for the AC command, for the AC kick. For us, we only have power. Out of the vintage air control head directly comes the power to the compressor. There's no ground trigger to a relay for us to tee into, so we have to create a ground. And we've done that with this very small relay, and 1 ground wire jumping 2 pins, and then the coil power, or the primary side power, is going to come from the AC compressor power circuit going into the trinary switch, and then the output of the relay, the secondary side, will carry a ground signal to the Holley controller so that when we turn the AC compressor on, the Holley controller understands that the AC has been turned on and it will kick the fans on. I'll show a diagram similar to what I'm going to build for these 2 fans to have low and high speed operation. I'll post that up now. Okay. This is a common way of wiring these fans that was used in the early 2000s and late 90s and on into the mid 2000s and maybe even the start of the 2010s by General Motors and a couple of other car manufacturers to control 2 fans in the days leading up to the pulse width modulated fan control. For us, the diagram specific that I just showed and that we're going to use is off of either a 97 to 04 Chevy Corvette or off of a 98 to 02 Chevy Camaro. They're both the same diagram, and that's what we're using. Let me get this built and mocked up before we install it in the car, and I'll show it to you before we mount it. Okay, so we've pre-built our harness. This is it. I'm getting kind of up there in years now, and I don't like spending a lot of time hunched over the engine bay, so I've started pre-building as much of my harnesses as I possibly can on a workbench, and then just putting the whole pre-built assembly inside of the car. This way I just have to connect a couple of wires on each end of the harness and bolt my relays up to the firewall, and we're good to go. We have a 40 amp maxi fuse, and instead of running 2 fuses, I'm going to run this 40 amp shortstop circuit breaker, so at least one of the fan speeds will have a chance of continuously resetting in case of something like an intermittent short circuit, so the fans don't just pop both fuses and just stop operation altogether. Trying for my customers. Everything is ready to go from here. We just need to graft this wire in and connect a couple ends on each side, and we're ready to go. This is where we chose to mount the 3 relays for our cooling fan for low and high speed operation. We mounted them right below where the AC lines pass through the fender to go up front to the condenser. They are right here on the fender, going right into the sheet metal or the aluminum. All right. And our harness is run up this way towards our battery connection, where we have a 40 amp maxi fuse in line and a 40 amp circuit breaker on the other side. Even though we're using 3 relays, we only have 2 power inputs. One is protected with a fuse, the other one's protected with the circuit breaker, so it at least has a chance of resetting. God forbid there be like a momentary short on the harness or something, so the car still has a chance of cooling. And the front harness just passes right underneath the cross member and goes right to both fans and to a ground. Now that our cooling fans are wired in appropriately, we've gone into the Holley handheld controller and we've commanded our low speed fans to come on at around 180 and turn off at 170, and we've commanded the high speed fans to come on at 190 and turn off at 180. We've actually wired the fans backwards for 1 and 2 so that fan 1 is high speed and fan 2 is low speed. This is easy to command through just temperature on and off commanded for fans 1 and 2. But if we command fan 1 is the AC bump, is the AC kick, right? So if fan 1 is your low speed and you have fan 1 commanded to the low speed of the fan, then when the engine is cold and you turn the AC on, sure, it'll turn the fans on low speed, but if the fans are already on low speed, you turn the AC on, there's no extra kick. So I've done this backwards with my temperature settings so that fan 2 is my low speed and fan 1 is my high speed. This way, no matter where the vehicle is at, when the AC kick comes on to the Holley Sniper, it gives +1 to whatever the fan state is currently at and helps increase the airflow across that condenser to help bring down those high side pressures.